Okay. Wait. Let me get to my channel, guys. Okay. We good? Alrighty. How are you? Anybody that's watching? So we're gonna start off with just messing around on here, I guess. God, this just needs to be by itself. Let's see what my friends have been doing. Any more looks of me? That's kind of cute. That's basically every guy in Moviestar Planet anyways. This loves a black. Be my baby. No thanks. I don't even know you. Bubblegum. I've seen those before, I think. Let's wear one of the outfits that I stole from one of my friends at Sky. Or is it? I don't like that hair. No. No. Let's go shopping. I don't know if I should change my eyes or not. It's not that many coins, so I'm getting kind of tired of those. These are too much. Well, that's nightmare. That's what that is. Okay. These greens are good. My eyes are kind of like this. Well, let me. Uh, like there. They're kind of silvery. What color are your eyes? Leave it in the comments below. Okay. Let's see if there's any good I don't even use animations. What am I doing? Guys, what the heck? I made a movie. Let's see how that's doing. A whole 4 views. Let's do some time of Salem then. I was on here earlier, nobody was playing. People are actually kind of on now. We just need 2 more to start. Let's see, what's wrong with Kevin? I bet you everybody's in this. VIP mode. Which is kind of ridiculous. I hate it. Yep. By the way, she gave me a greet and she got me to level up. So shout out to Caitlin. She was here yesterday. Yep. Message from Moviestar Planet. What the heck? Alrighty. I need to put blush on. Let's see, guys. What color blush should I use? I used to use this a lot. Looks like a bruise. What was I thinking? What? Oh. Wow. How classy of you. This song's good. That pet. Oh my gosh. I want it. Forums are fun to do. Let's see. What? I don't understand these. Goodness. Now I see. What even is this? People need to stop being like, lockdown stories. Honestly, let's read some horrible scary stories. I'm gonna read you all a horrible creepypasta. Tiny doll. Here we go, guys. Here's a bad creepypasta story for you. I've always loved to play with dolls ever since I was a kid. Well, not anymore. After that horrible accident, I'm currently living in foster care since both of really, really. What the heck? Since both of my parents are dead. How did this happen? Well, you see, it all started when I bought this doll. My parents had given me enough money to buy another doll. I was so excited. I quickly ran down to the local toy store while thinking about which one I wanted. Unfortunately, I didn't see a doll that I didn't see a doll I already had. I had been buying from here since I was a kid. Of course, there would be nothing left to buy. I sadly headed for the exit. When I was almost out of the store, I had this feeling to look to my left. I obeyed the feeling and turned to my left. I stared in amazement. There was a single doll on the shelf. Its curly blonde hair was tied up in a bun. When we locked eyes, I felt something strange surge through me. I couldn't describe it. It was like the eyes saw into my very soul. This was the doll I wanted. I quickly paid for it and headed home. Dot dot dot, guys. It's so scary. I woke up in the middle of the night. My eyes were still blurry and misty, so I wiped them with my hand. I got up to check on my parents and I noticed something odd. Was that my doll? I swear I had to put her in the living room before going to bed. I stared in shock. Burned villain. I jumped I jumped out of my freaking bed. Was I drinking? Did my doll just say something? Too late. I realized that the doll was holding a gas can and a wait. This is great, guys. We're gonna read bad creepypastas. Forget you, Town of Salem. Get out of here. Let me change the name of this to bad creepypastas. Wow. I'm such look. That's a bad creepypasta. Town of Salem. Okay. Let's do it. Hey, what are you? I shouted. Don't try to escape, killer. You're all tied up. Tied up. I panicked. I tried to move, but I found out the doll was right. Both my arms and feet were linked to metal chains. No matter how much I struggled, I couldn't move an inch. The doll laughed evilly and continued pouring the gas all around my room. It then lit the lighter and held it over the gas. No, please, why are you doing this? I pleaded despairingly, because I was burned to death in a school by a bunch of bullies, and now I must get my revenge. What kind of bully burned someone to death? Okay. With these words, it dropped the lighter, and the fire roared to life like an inferno. Enjoy being burned, killer. I tried to reason with the doll, but it left the room. I ripped the chains as hard as I could, but they still wouldn't break. I heard my parents screaming for their lives from the bathroom. It sounded like they were about to die. The fire was now surrounding my room. Oh no! The roof was about to crack like an egg. I was I was starting to feel feverish from inhaling all the toxic smoke. My mind was starting to slip from me, and black spots danced before my eyes. My last thoughts was that my parents had stopped screaming as they were like as they were likely dead by now. Everything went black. Dot dot dot. For the last time, please tell us the truth, demanded the detective. I'd been telling them my story for the past 7 days. I woke up in a hospital where they brought me back to full health. They told me that there had been a fire at my house and both my parents didn't make it out. Once I was ready, they brought me straight to police deceives who kept questioning me about the accident. They didn't know what to do, so they sent me to a local foster care center where I would be taken care of. We got an hour of computer time each day to have fun. I must make this quick. We only have about 5 minutes left, so I'll end it with a warning. That doll's still out there, roaming the world, looking for more people to burn. Do not buy or play with a doll that has curly blonde hair tied up in a bun, or you might get severely burnt, or worse, killed. Okay, we'll do another one, guys. Let's do the blood moon. Over the years, there have been many legends passed. Oh my gosh. This one might not be that bad, but it probably will be. Over the years, there have been many legends passed down. One of them tells of a rare occurrence known as the blood moon. First, I'll tell you about some events to look for beforehand as a warning. Then, what happens during this rare and deadly event. Lastly, I'll give you some tips to raise your chances of survival should you find yourself during this event. How is this a creepypasta? The first thing that will alert you The first thing that will alert you will happen at 8 p.m. at night. Your pets will start barking like crazy. Any attempt to confront them will end in vain. Over time, their behavior will become worse and worse. They will try to rip out or eat your furniture, and they will even try to bite you. Don't be alarmed. They are simply trying to warn you about the event. Eventually, all the animals in your town will start to display the same odd behavior. Why do they know it's coming when we don't? There's a simple reason, and it's not what you think. You see, all animals have a sixth sense that allows them to detect natural events. Don't believe me? Think about how many pets and animals have warned their owners right before tragedy struck. Anyways, sometime during the middle of the pet event, a second event will start to happen. This event will last exactly 1 hour. The sky will fill with clouds, the shape will whirlpools, and it will start to lightly rain. As the rain At first, the rain will appear to be normal, but don't let it fool you. Half an hour into the event, the clouds will become a leaf shade of green. This is when everybody needs to take cover from the rain. Why, you ask? Well, that's for the last 10 minutes of the event. The rain will become a toxic shade of green. Anybody still left outside will die a swift death because the rain will now have a PhD of 4,000. Yes, you heard me right. 4,000. Guys, let's look at this, okay? They didn't even say that right. And bases chart. Okay, wait. Okay, guys, see this? 7 is water, right? This is acid. This is bases. They're both dangerous. Acid, though, is not 4,000. That would be extremely, extremely basic. But there's no such thing as 4,000. I want to die, please. Guys, I'm sorry that I'm reading this. If you survived, then good for you, but it's not over just yet. You have to get 30 minutes. You do get 30 minutes to prepare for the third event, though, which is good because you will need it. During this time, you want to find some sort of weapon. It could be anything you feel comfortable to defend yourself with. Should the need appear, got something? Now locate a spot to hide before the event starts and stay quiet during the whole thing or you will die. For sure. I haven't told you what the third event is yet, have I? You see, at exactly 10 p.m. a monster known as Find will arrive at the east from the east to try to find you. It is basically like a massive game of hide and seek. If the monster finds a person, they will proceed to brutally devour them. You can try to fight back with the weapon you choose before, but I highly doubt that you will be able to avoid your fate. Oh, and don't attempt to outrun it either. This creature is as fast as a fully modded sport car with turbo turning. Your only chance is, is to hide from it and pray that it doesn't discover you for a whole hour. The more people that the more likely you are to come out alive, right? If you manage to survive all 3 events, then good for you. Now you don't have to worry about the blood moon. It will rise at exactly midnight and will last until sunrise the next morning. No duh. This is of them all. You probably realize by now that you only have an hour to prepare once you complete event 3. Once the hour countdown. Sorry, guys. This is like weird. Once the hour countdown starts, click you board up all your doors, windows, etc. Basically anywhere that you can see through the outside. Now just sit back and wait. You know if it has started, you'll hear the sound of moaning outside. The blood moon will cause all the people that have died at some point in your town to reawake. But they are now zombies out for your blood. Do not open your door for any of them, or they will try to eat your guts out. Now, now comes the easy part. Wait until sunrise. I highly suggest getting some sleep to block off all the sound and to make the time go by quicker. No matter how you wait, no. No matter No matter how you wait it out, once the first ray of light shines over the horizon, all the zombies will jump back into their graves. Congratulations, you have successfully survived the blood moon. You may now go back to your normal daily lives, and catch the well and catch and the catch. Well, the zombies have now set their appetite on you. The only piece of advice I can give you is this: look around you often while outdoors because you never know. They might set up an ambush and pounce. And that is the legend of the Blood Moon, folks. Now, let's put out the campfire and return to our cabins for some rest. We are playing Capture the Flag tomorrow. I bet none of you want to miss it. Yes, sir, we don't. Mittens of zombies with the machete. What the heck, guys? Channel future. Sure, let's do it. Oh, that one was long. Goodness. Have you ever heard of the show called Sharing Your Future? Of course you haven't. I'm the only person unlucky enough to stumble across such a strange show. It all started with a simple sleepover with a couple of friends at my house, but it ended up turning into a nightmare. Don't try to help me, it's too late. I have to write this down before they break in and murder me. Farewell. We were watching my brand new Ultra 4K smart TV on the couch in the living room when the lights started flashing on and off. It was a power outrage, and judging by the sudden darkness, it was a big one. Since we couldn't watch TV until the power outage was fixed, they went down to the local supermarket to get us some refreshing ice cold drinks. That's that's why I was surprised when I heard that the TV suddenly turned on with a click. How the I turned around and the TV was showing static, like when you try to watch a channel that has no signal. I stared at the TV waiting for something else to happen, but nothing did. Even after I waited for 5 whole minutes, a thought suddenly floated up from the depths of my mind. The remote, of course, the TV wasn't going to act on its own unless to act on its own. I quickly grabbed it from the table and started to search the channels. Some feeling in my gut telling me to go to channel 0. I obeyed the feeling without thinking twice and pressed 0 on the remote. I got something all right. The channel was working perfectly, unlike all the other static channels. The show was called Sharing Your Future. It appeared to be some sort of talk show. There was a woman facing the TV. Upon seeing me, she said in a taunting voice, "You, do you want to know your future?" Well, wait, where was I? I thought it was some sort of game, so I replied, "Yes, tell me my future." Upon hearing me, the woman grinned evilly. I was slightly creeped out by this, but I shrugged it off. Uh-oh. The woman then said something disturbing. "You will die a quick and painless death on October 5th, 2019 at exactly midnight." A picture of what appeared to be three gunmen kicking down the door to a house flashed on the screen. "Enjoy the time you have left." Then the TV overheated and shut itself off. My heart was beating rapidly at this point. I was dreading to check the date in case it was today. Once I gathered some courage, I quickly checked the date on my phone. I almost screamed in terror. Today was October 4th. Oh, okay. That makes sense now. That was when I realized I had forgotten to check the time. With all the hope I had in me, I looked at the time. My heart almost stopped. It was currently 11:59 p.m. Okay, but guys, I'm just gonna do this until somebody shows up. Push the button to release the monsters. Uh oh. I like exploring abandoned places at night with my friends. It's a fun and creepy hobby to do. We take flashlights and video cameras with us, and we usually spend at least an hour inside the abandoned place we enter. We sometimes make different dares, such as leaving one of us alone in a dark room or handcuffing one of us to the basement for a little bit. However, after what happened last night, I can safely say that I'm not going to step inside one again. Me and 5 other people decided to investigate a three-storied abandoned office building. It was more decayed than most of the buildings that we explored before. All the paint was peeled off, and we could see rotten concrete everywhere. Also, the floor was rotten as well. After waking up, after walking up, sorry guys, after walking up to the third story, we discovered a small box with a red button on it. It said, "Push this button to release monsters." On the back it said, if you pressed it, monsters will start appearing. However, if you push it again, the monsters will disappear. We laughed at it. One of us thought it was a joke, so he pushed it. We then left the button on the third floor and continued exploring. Suddenly we heard tons of footsteps below us. We were shocked by it. We thought that other people might be here as well, but there were at least several dozen footsteps downstairs. One of us said jokingly, it's probably the monsters. We laughed a bit. Then one of us moved to the staircase and said it in an exaggerated tone, I can see them. He was laughing a bit. We all laughed as well. All six of us were having a great time making fun of the button. Suddenly, the person who was on the stairs looked back down, only for his eyes to get huge. He looked terrified of something. Suddenly, a red tentacle grabbed him and pulled him down. We could hear him screaming for help as the monsters tore him apart. We ran to the staircase, only to see dozens of giant red monsters with sharp teeth and claws and tentacles protruding out from their bodies. We looked at our friend again, only to see that he was torn into several pieces. Suddenly, the monsters noticed us. So they started chasing us. We ran across the third floor. Eventually, we discovered a metal door still in good condition. We ran inside and locked the door. The monsters banged on it for a little while until they settled down. We were all freaking out at that point. Suddenly, I remembered the button. I looked through the keyhole just to see a monster carrying it to the second floor. One of us looked out the window to see the monsters blocking the doors, preventing us from escape. Eventually, we decided to use a piece of rope inside the room to rappel down the side of the building. We tied one end of it to a pole in the other room, and threw the rest of it down the building. It was just long enough to reach the bottom. We decided to go down one at a time. One of us went first. He was descending really fast. When he got to the second floor, however, a tentacle popped out of the concrete and pulled him through. His blood squirted out of the hole he was pulled into. We all started freaking out again. We then decided that we need to find the button somehow. We assumed that it would most likely be on the first floor. We took one final look in the keyhole before sneaking out. We all looked behind us to make sure that none of the monsters were following. When we got down the staircase, however, we noticed that there were several monsters on the ceiling. We ran for the staircase, but a monster grabbed one of us with his tentacles and pulled him in. It was ripping him apart. The three of us ran to the second floor and locked the door by the staircase to prevent him from going down here. We then started running for the first floor when suddenly several monsters started chasing us. We were running as fast as we could, but they were catching up to us very quickly. When we got to the staircase, we started closing the door when suddenly a monster grabbed one of our legs and pulled him out. The two, the two of us tried hanging on to him, but the monsters wouldn't let go. Do y'all hear this? I don't care if this is a replay you're watching. It's just so stupid. We then heard his flesh getting torn off and his bones snapping one after the other. He was screaming in pain. Suddenly, a monster stabbed him in the head with one of its tentacles, killing him. As soon as we dropped him, he was pulled in. We quickly locked the door behind us. Now we were on the first floor. We were looking desperately around for the button when suddenly we noticed a ladder leading down to the basement. We ran up to it and decided that it must be down there. We walked down it, but we could hardly see anything. Most of our flashlights didn't work that much as well. Suddenly, we heard several monsters climbing down the ladder. We moved faster. Eventually, the hallway we walked across led us to a giant room. There was a stone table in the corner of it with the button on it. Suddenly, a tentacle grabbed the guy I was with and tore him in half. I bolted for the table. As I ran, several more monsters were running out of the other entrances. I had to make it there before they did. I could now see the tentacles trying to grab my feet. I ran even faster. Eventually, I arrived at the stone table. As I reached for the button, a monster grabbed my wrist. I felt several tentacles wrapped around my body, slowly pulling me away from the table. I tried to use my other hand to push the button, but I couldn't reach it. Then I grabbed one of our flashlights, which was incredibly bright. I pointed it at the monsters behind me and turned it on, shining it directly into their eyes. They didn't let go, but I got them to loosen up enough for me to reach the table again. They tried grabbing onto me one last time, but before they were able to do so, I hit the button. Right as I pushed it, the monsters disappeared. I walked out of the basement to find that the front door was now unlocked. I then left the house and ran back to my house. Nobody knew that we were with each other as we would sneak off each night without telling people. For that reason, I didn't get in trouble. However, I've been haunted by this experience for my entire life. I will never forget this now. That one stunk. That was like worst one. The Fat Ghost. This is a short one. You come home after a long, exhausting day of work. As you step through the door, you suddenly feel like somebody is spying on you. To prove to yourself that nothing's wrong, you bravely search the entire house. Nothing seems to have been moved. Feeling more calm now, you decide to go to your restroom. As you open up the door, a figure wearing a ski mask suddenly grabs you and holds your head at gunpoint. Oh, it looks like somebody forgot to lock all their windows. The figure screams at you. We'll have fun in the afterlife. Wait, no, don't! Bang. Guys, I've been reading for like 30 minutes. You know that? You know that? Still gonna keep going. Bluttery the Killer. Warning for terrible shipping. What the heck? Bluttery was a very kind and beautiful girl until the day she became obscene. Wait, let me make sure that this isn't. Oh. Jeff the Killer, the overly exaggerated version. Okay. One day, Bluttery woke up to her mother telling her to wake up. She got up and walked to school. She was very pretty, so people was pretty jealous of her. She went to school, and the four girls who always bullied her and said, "You're so fat." One of the girls called Christina said, "Your hair is so dry and ugly." The other girl called Namia said, "At least it's not greasy." Everybody hates you, the third and fourth girl said. She was really sad, but ignored them. Bluttery had beautiful colored ginger hair, and she was in a very toned body. She also had clear hazel eyes. She walked into her school and went to her locker. She heard people talking about this guy named Jeff. Oh no. She knows he was a famous and hot creepy pasta, so she decided he's stalking. Apparently, five girls were also fangirling over him, de- desperate to make friends. She went there and asked them to be her friend, but they rejected her because her name was very edgy and cringy. She loved it, and her parents also loved it. When school ended, she came home to greet her mother and father and her dog, who is named Mark. Hi, Mark. The next day, she brought her dog to school for show and tell. But when the four girls saw her and her dog, they started beating her up. "No, stop!" Blutter cried as she fell to the ground, but they kept on beating up her dog. When she glanced at her dog, she realized it was almost dead. Then she snapped. She took out her pepper spray bottle in her pocket and sprayed at the leader's eyes. The leader fell on the ground, and the rest of the girls screamed. Fluttery then ran away to somewhere so that no one would see her. People that gathered around the fallen girl and called an ambulance. The next day, the police went to her house and attempted to arrest her, but she grabbed a kitchen knife quickly and dodged all their bullets and finished them. She turned to her parents and said, "No witnesses," and killed them. She then went to the kitchen, but was surprised to see a wild Jeff standing there, smiling at her with his already carved smile. "OMG, Jeff, what are you doing here?" Bluttery asked, and Jeff confessed his love to her. "I've been watching you for months, and we seem like the perfect match," Jeff confessed. "So will you marry me?" Jeff asked. "Of course," Bluttery replied. They started killing together, but once Bluttery got stabbed in the eyes accidentally, so she's blind. And she accidentally slit her mouth, so she can't speak anymore, but it's okay. They still kiss and had two beautiful children named Nina and Chloe. Newspaper reports two mysterious murders have been going on, a huge number of clear killing sprees. We recommend you sleeping in the basement. The end. She also killed her bullies. End me, please. me, me too. Okay. Well, I'm just gonna end this now. I don't even know what that was, guys. I'm sorry.